What's up guys, Miggy the Tech Guy here, and today I'm here to talk about the OnePlus 11 and how it's holding up long term a little over 6 months later. Let's get into it. The OnePlus 11 can be had for $750 brand new. That is a solid price for a solid phone. OnePlus was going in a weird direction post OnePlus 8 Pro, to be honest with you. I think they peaked at the OnePlus 7 to 7T Pro. I used a OnePlus 7T Pro McLaren Edition as my main device up until the OnePlus 11. Let's take a second to mourn the loss of my wonderful 7T Pro McLaren Edition. With that track record in mind and thinking about how they really peaked in 2019 versus here in 2023, they really are starting on a new trajectory, and I think that's really nice of them. I know that MKBHD doesn't want to attribute the fact that he gave the 10T the bust of the year of last year, but it definitely helped aid in the right direction and probably had them scrap a few things that they thought they needed to do in order to go mainstream in the oppification of OnePlus. But the OnePlus 11 is actually what the OnePlus 10 Pro should have been, in my opinion. This phone is so much better than the OnePlus 10 Pro in my opinion. Battery life, charging, speed, fluidity, there's less hiccups overall. This phone is just what it should have been. And I even think that the OnePlus 9 Pro is better than the 10 Pro. So there was a lot of recommendation that you should get the OnePlus 9 Pro over the OnePlus 10 Pro. Now with the way the price is a little muddied up, I mean, maybe a OnePlus 10 Pro might be a better choice for you just because of longevity purposes. You can get a OnePlus 10 Pro for $360. You can get a OnePlus 9 Pro for $329, so $330. The OnePlus 9 at this point is at $230. So in my opinion, instead of going for the 9 Pro, just go for the 9 because you get all of the specs. You get 8 gigabytes of RAM and you get 128 gigabytes of storage versus probably getting 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigs of storage on the 9 Pro. But I mean, for that cheap $230, you can't really go wrong for that price with getting a Snapdragon 888 and pretty much the same camera system with a little bit missing. There's not much to be missed there. With all that being said, the OnePlus 11 outbeats all of those phones, and it actually dethroned the OnePlus 7T Pro McLaren as my daily driver. I was actually really sad to see that go because the OnePlus 7T Pro is such a great phone and I love it, and I just love that era. I think they did so great with the all-screen display, no punch hole, a pop-up camera, solid cameras to be honest with you for even a budget-minded device there. It's pretty sad to see it go, but man, do I love the OnePlus 11. This phone here holds up so well. The fluidity of it, the speed, the consistency of the battery life, how fast it charges up is absurd. 27 minutes pretty much from 0 to full. I mean, I don't even charge overnight. I don't feel the need that I need to. I can have my phone run all day, then go to sleep, wake up, charge it in the morning, do my daily routine. I can go take a shower, I can go use the restroom, brush my teeth, anything that I need to do, and then the phone's charged up all the way for me, ready for my day of work. It's just a great phone, and I think that most people would be happy with this. And just a little tidbit, I got this on Amazon Prime Day deal, and I got it for $662 for this device here that has the 16 gigabytes of RAM and the 256 gigs of storage. So I actually got it a bit cheaper than it currently is running, which is, I couldn't pass it up, that's why I decided to go for it. I sold my OnePlus 10 Pro because I was just having too many hiccups with that device. As much as it pains me, I mean, the phone was nice and everything, but it had 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage. It was just lagging where I didn't want it to. The battery life is very similar to the OnePlus 11, so I'll give it that, and the charging is obviously no slouch either with the 65 watt charging, but the OnePlus 11 ups that to 80 watts here, 100 watts overseas. It ups the RAM to 16 gigs, so double what the 10 Pro that I had, and 256 gigs of storage, so double there as well. But let's talk about build quality about this device. The OnePlus 11 holds up so well in the hand. I have the green version here. This is so beautiful. The camera being rounded rather than squared off is really nice. I really enjoy it because it looks so great in the hand, and it's kind of eye-catching, to be honest with you. It gleams really nice. I know that the black version is also really nice and gives a sandstone-esque feeling to it, but the build quality of this device is really nice. You got the volume rockers on the left-hand side, you got the power button, and the volume rocker mute switch, which is so handy when you just need to quickly turn it off and turn it back on if you needed to. You don't even have to turn on your display, you can just switch it, realize what orientation does what. Going up and down, you can do ring on the bottom, up to vibrate in the middle, and silent all the way up at the top. So it just changes everything up. I know that you can go in the settings and change that, but having one built into the device is so great, gives you great ease of use and peace of mind. I love that feature. OnePlus needs to keep this here. I know they took it away with the 10T for a little bit, but brought it right back here with the OnePlus 11. You get a USB-C charger on the bottom with the SIM card slot and the speaker. There's also the speaker up in the top of the display with a hole punch camera, which again, I'm really upset that they kept the hole punch here and haven't gone all screen display yet. I would like to see a pop-up camera again. I think that's really cool that they had that in the OnePlus 7 to 7T Pro. I wish they would just bring that back with a vengeance, because if they were just to update that phone for the present day, I think they would be a runaway success and more people would buy them than ever before. I know that that's just my opinion, but I keep harping on it, but that was my longest running flagship device and I loved it so much, and it was my daily driver for so long, and I'm gonna have such fond memories of that device. It's still my secondary device, but the OnePlus 11 here, still great build, even with that hole punch, even though it doesn't have a pop-up camera. Still feels great in the hand. The green color looks really nice. And yeah, if you are looking for a good built device, this is definitely one to go for, in my opinion. Next, we can talk about that beautiful display here. The OnePlus 11 has a wonderful display. It's pretty much the same exact size as the 10 Pro and the 9 Pro. It looks very similar in terms of the front of the phone, so you're not really missing anything in that regard. There is differences in color reproduction between these devices, and this is a new generation of LTPO for 120 Hz to 1 Hz. It definitely holds up there, and it's way more smoother and more noticeable with less hiccups in terms of frame rate. So if you are looking for a fast, smooth device, it's beautiful to look at on this display, and with using dark wallpapers you barely notice the hole punch in it, if I'm being honest, since it's up in the notification bar anyway. So most apps it's not really intrusive. Obviously watching videos, if you wanted to full screen them, it's gonna be noticeable, but after a little while it kind of gets out of view. But overall, this display is probably top tier in my opinion. Holds its own even with against the Samsungs and your Apple devices. This phone's display is nothing to scoff at, in my opinion. So if you need a top tier display, not at a top tier price to be honest with you, the OnePlus 11 is a phone to go for. Next, we'll talk about the cameras. The cameras are freaking awesome, to be honest with you. I have taken quite a picture with these. The AI that's built into them at this point makes for really great outdoor photos, makes for amazing low light photography as well. You can get great portrait photos. I'm going to show you some photos here in the video so that you can get a feel of the general different styles of photos that you can get out of this device, whether it be daytime, landscape, portraits, all of the sort, because I want to give you guys just a good feel and assortment of photos and how these cameras actually hold up, all three of them, so that you can get a feel for what it would be like to be using the OnePlus 11 as your daily driver and your main camera that you take with you everywhere. yeah, the photos look really beautiful. They're not too punchy, but they definitely have a little bit of a punch to them. They err on the bright side for a lot of the photos that I've taken, but I love the dynamic range in these photos. They definitely are A-tier quality pictures for me, in my opinion, and I think that you guys will definitely love them if you were to go ahead and pick up this phone. If you want top-tier cameras, the OnePlus 11 is definitely a good contender for you here, ending 2023. So let's talk about that fast charging. Man, the fast charging is probably the biggest thing for me here, aside from the speed and fluidity. We'll get into that later, but the battery life is 100% one of the main reasons why you should pick this device up. The efficiency of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 combined with the speediness of the charging. With one caveat, it doesn't have wireless charging, but to be honest with you, I don't use wireless charging in my daily workflow, considering I use the OnePlus 7T Pro as my main daily driver for a very long time. So I was already used to it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I did have the 10 Pro and I did have the 9 Pro, which both had wireless charging, but I never used it anyway. So for me, it's not that much of a caveat. It is something that definitely, I mean, I wish they would have just thrown it into this device, because how much does that really cost at the end of the day? And if they were to put that into the price, do you think the consumers would really be that pissed off that you didn't omit that? My opinion, you can take it or leave it with the wireless charging. If that's something that's a deal breaker for you guys, then definitely this is not the phone for you. But for the price, you're still getting that fast charging, and it more than makes up for wireless charging not being included. In my opinion, this is top tier charging. 80 watts definitely amazes me. I mean, we're getting to a point where of absurdity with these fast charging, and it doesn't seem to be really affecting the battery in terms of it getting super hot, because the brick itself is taking most of that load. There's a lot of different trickery they have in software to help mitigate the heat and the destruction towards your battery. MKBHD definitely has a video on batteries and fast charging and all that stuff, so if you need to go check that out, definitely hit his video up so you can get something more in depth in that regard. But in my experience, using this phone long term, this battery life combined with that fast charging just changes your life. You don't want to change to anything else, and I think that was one of the biggest things that pushed me over the edge to not use my OnePlus 7T Pro anymore, is that, yeah, 30T fast charging was really nice and did definitely change charging habits for a while there for me, because it was faster than most phones out there. But now, even with Samsung having 45 watt, yeah, it's a little behind, and that's okay because it's 4 years old at this point. So I was kind of expecting that. But when I switched to this and then I tried to go back to my 7T Pro McLaren because I missed it, I realized that the charging really started to become a big part of its identity for me, and I just started using that more and more, and that definitely changed my lifestyle and how I use my smartphone throughout the day and how I charge it and everything like that. So that's a complete change. I think once you go super fast charging, it's really hard to go back to anything that doesn't have it. So 80 watt fast charging, definitely one of the top reasons why you would pick this device up. You can see the animation speed of how quickly it's going up. I have shown that in my 10 Pro video and my 9 Pro video, but this is on a new level. You're getting 0 to 100 in like 25 to 27 minutes, which is unreal. You can do literally a normal activity in that amount of time and your phone's completely charged from dead. Yeah, it's a completely different thing, and I think people will really notice that in terms of day-to-day when they're using this device. So if you're gonna pick up a phone and it omits wireless charging, but it has this fast charging and it has the efficiency to go all day for you anyway, so you can even have 2 light days if you really truly wanted to, I think people are definitely going to want to pick it up for that main reason. And once you go that route, I don't think you want to go to anything else, if I'm being honest. So if you pick up this phone, this is one of the top reasons. Along, the cameras are definitely up there too, but overall, anything else, battery, fast charging, main reasons why you would pick up this device. Let's talk about software. So this phone is running Oxygen OS 13.1, and it's the Android security update of June 5th. So as of this recording, so if you were looking for a major thing that definitely puts this not in the top running for you, is a lot of people may not like how Oxygen OS has progressed. There are definitely going to be people out there who are choosing OnePlus for the first time and don't know how Oxygen OS used to be, and so they're probably going to be more fine with going to this anyway if they're going to be switching from a different device. And I understand that the main reason why they took this route of changing it up and Appifying it is to go after customers who are using Apple devices, and they want to bring it more into the mainstream so people feel like, hey, choose this device because it's just as good, if not better, than the iPhone. I think that a lot of users coming to this device will definitely like it for that, and I think the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 and the 16 gigs of RAM paired together make this experience way better than what I was getting on the OnePlus 10 Pro or even the OnePlus 9 Pro. The OnePlus 9 Pro was better than the 10 Pro in terms of fluidity and speed, and it definitely even compares to the OnePlus 11, which I may do a video of both of those devices being compared together, because the OnePlus 9 Pro is nothing to scoff at, and it holds its own against even the OnePlus 11 here with the Snapdragon 888, aside with some heating and less efficient processing going on. But ultimately, you're looking at a very okay experience from the software standpoint. Oxygen OS gets the job done. There are little minor annoyances like the whole swiping of the notifications, you can't do both directions, and double clicking on the media player so that you can actually skip through the song and stuff like that. It's different on other devices, so it takes less clicks to do those things, and so just minor annoyances that I think Oppo and OnePlus should work on to making it more efficient, because everything else in this device is so efficient, so why wouldn't you try to take your software in a better direction, in my opinion? I digress in terms of Oxygen OS. You either love it or you hate it, and that's okay because it's really grown on me using this. I definitely still miss the old Oxygen OS of the earlier years because it was so fast and so fluid and just so responsive. This is definitely up there with that, but there are little minor annoyances in the software day-to-day that I notice are different and less efficient and less speedy than my previous experiences with the OnePlus 9 Pro, OnePlus 7T Pro, and so on. So yeah, software, it's not the best thing in the world, but it's not something that's going to hold the phone down or bog it down. So software's a go, in my opinion, as well. Let's talk about gaming on this device. So you can definitely game with the OnePlus 11. You can play Genshin Impact, you can play Call of Duty, you can play Fortnite, PUBG, all the big top games you can throw at this, Asphalt. No problem. I'll put some gameplay up of Fortnite and maybe some other games just for you guys to see how well it holds up and how fluid it truly is. But it is a good phone for gaming. It doesn't heat up that much, to be honest with you, even when I'm playing for long periods of time. Playing Fortnite with my son and my girlfriend, we play together, and sometimes I want to play on mobile. So that's definitely a really cool thing that I'm able to do, is I can play Fortnite cross-platform with them while they're playing on Nintendo Switch or Xbox. So the OnePlus 11 holds up for gaming more than adequately. It's top tier for that. In fact, you're not gonna notice any real hiccups or any lagging or anything like that. It can hold up with high frame rates just as much as any other phone can. So in regards to gaming, the OnePlus 11 holds up really well. All in all, the OnePlus 11 is a great phone to buy here in 2023. It contends with the best of them, like the Galaxy S23 Ultra. No problem, for a much cheaper cost. In my opinion, this is a great buy. Go ahead and pick it up even for the $750, and if you can get it for cheaper, refurbished or renewed, go ahead and see what's out there. Do your research. Go ahead and get yourself a OnePlus 11, because I wholeheartedly recommend this as a daily driver, since I am using it as a daily driver. It works wonders. I love it so much. I'm so glad that I picked this up. I'm so glad that I sold my OnePlus 10 Pro and stuck with this device, because it was well worth it in my opinion. So if you're looking for a new phone, you want a flagship-esque device, the OnePlus 11 definitely is well deserved for your hard-earned cash here in 2023. And as always, if you liked this video, leave a like. If you disliked it, hit the dislike button. If you really liked it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get more content from me. And as always, I am Miggy the Tech Guy, and I am out. Peace.